Zoe has been described as a Pan-African activist, and her music is inspired by her creator and spirit guides. That's KwaZulu-Natal-born quintessential artist Zoe Modiga, who heads to the Lyric Theatre next Saturday for her bespoke show titled UKUBONGA. Modiga will also take the global stage at the North Sea Jazz Festival in July. She joins us now to tell us more about her upcoming show. Zoe. Very good morning to you.
Good to see you again after so many years.
It's been ages, I know. It's been ages.
Your faces make me smile. I'm happy to be here again.
Well, I'm glad it does.
Yeah.
You know, as my director was screaming in my ear to walk onto the set to have this interview, I was just in my zone. I was in a trance just listening to you. Gosh, your music
love that.
Has
that means
that
I get to keep my job.
Yeah,
so we
basically.
love that.
Keep on keeping on, hey.
Absolutely.
So how's it going, man? It's been a great 2 years since we last chatted to you.
Yeah, you know, I think it's been a very tricky 2 years, you know, with the pandemic. I think on a human level, it's been a very tricky time for all of us.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we decided to come up with the concept of UKUBONGA, which is happening at the Lyric Theatre on the 30th, because to us, it's an idea of having a Thanksgiving. To kind of take stock of what we've been through and what has brought us here.
And even though we've
lost, exactly.
We survived it all, yeah.
And even though we've lost people along the way, there is something to be said about the fact that we're still here. We give thanks to that.
And, you know, apart from giving thanks, how would you describe the space that you currently find yourself in relation to the kind of work that you do and your music?
This is a very exciting time for me personally. I've been working on music as a craft for very many years, and I'm beginning to see how that is coming into pass, you know. I'm beginning to see a lot of opportunities coming to play, and just being able to exist in the land of fashion, telling stories, and music, which is the superpower and the magic of what I get to do.
Sure. So what did that 2-year hiatus or the 2-year period of no activity teach you about your own self and about your own craft as a musician?
What I realized is that music, a lot of the times, is the soundtrack to our lives, and it's the thing that keeps us going.
Sure.
And so around the time of the pandemic, we were doing a lot of virtual shows and very intimate performances. So it really is just recognizing that we need, it obviously can't be the same, right? But as many people as can be in a space, it's important to kind of use music to be the healing agent that it's always been known to be.
Yeah,
you know?
And pandemic or no pandemic, music still remains. And music never died. And I saw so many artists making more music, more popping tracks during that 2-year period.
Yeah.
So what did that teach you about your own ability to take, you know, to seize opportunities that came with any crisis? Because, you know, in every crisis, there's an opportunity.
You know, I think what was so interesting for me was releasing my sophomore album at the thick of the pandemic. This is around June 2020. And being able to see how with the LGBTQI+ community, with the femicides and the Black Lives Matter movement, a lot of those conversations were happening around the time. And that's what I wanted the body of work to be, to stand for and to celebrate the Black experience, you know? And so being able to take all the opportunity that comes from us having music that speaks to the times and speaks to us was a very important thing for me.
So what's the inspiration behind this project, UKUBONGA? Just take us through, you know, the conceptualization stage and you seeing it through.
So myself and Banda, who will be performing as Banda and the Crocodiles on the show, we actually came up with the idea of Thanksgiving. Just again, looking at the past 2 years and what we've been through. And also just commemorating our revolutionaries as well. As we know, on the 27th of April, it's Freedom Day. And I am as born free can be, you know, and I hope to represent some of what that means, as layered and as complicated as that is. And so it really was just about celebrating where it is that we come from and celebrating where it is that we are right now. And I hope that people will come for whatever it is that they need from the show, whether that's dancing and sweating, crying, laughing. It really is just a family of music lovers coming together and us just giving thanks.
Let's talk about the process of curating the music for the show. What did that entail?
That entailed really just looking into our discography, myself and Banda. He's got an album called Africado that really is just such a quintessential album, I think, in terms of a modern African sound and story. And I would say the same about my discography with Yellow the Novel, my debut album, as well as Inga Nani. So it's really just coming into song in that way. and allowing music to do what it always does, which is make us feel good and make us sing along and make us see ourselves, really.
Gosh, and music never disappoints in that regard.
Absolutely.
You know, Zoe, what is it that you are grateful for at this particular moment? And why is it so important for you to share it with the fans?
For me, it really is just as simple as being grateful for breathing in and breathing out.
Yeah.
Because at a certain time, that was something that we all weren't entirely sure of, right?
Yeah.
I'm grateful for family, for friendships. I'm grateful for music. I'm grateful for all the experiences that I walk into, all the lessons, all the mistakes, all the triumphs. And I think it is important for us as a people to take stock of that. You know, our experience as human beings is such a layered one and such a complete one. And it's beautiful to be able to kind of say, hey, you know what, Zoe, or whoever it is that will be coming to the show, I did this, you know, I am a good father, or I did well at work, or I'm alive, I'm in good health, you know, and if not, why not? I feel like when we walk into life with an element of gratitude, we pull more beautiful experiences into our lives. So why not be in a space of manifesting that through music.
And you invite so much positive energy as well, if you show gratitude in whatever you do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is exactly the point. It makes more of itself.
Indeed.
You know?
Indeed. Now, Zoe, there's nothing stopping you, clearly. And you're now heading to the North Sea Jazz Festival in July. Tell us more about this and how it all came about.
My goodness. So we started having a conversation with regards to the North Sea Jazz Festival in 2020. But we all know what happened there.
Gosh, tell me about it.
So there were delays with that regard. But seeing my name on the lineup was such an incredible thing. I literally cried and I sobbed because it was such an important and is an important milestone for me. And I'd like to definitely also give a shout out to Unduduzo Makatini, Bokani Daya, and Malcolm Chiane, who will also be raising the flag there. It's a world stage and our stories deserve to be on the world stage, and we'll be sharing the stages by the likes of Diana Ross, Erykah Badu, Robert Glasper, Nile Rodgers, and that's really to name a few. You know, so it's really exciting, and I think the world is excited and happy to receive our stories, and it's time that we rise up to that occasion as well.
Would you say this is a full circle moment for you? Does it really validate yourself as an already established artist?
You know, I would say more than validate, it affirms what I already envisioned and what I already saw and what I already thought about the gift of music and as pertaining to my life as well, you know. So it affirms what has been, and it allows me to see it materialize, and that is a very beautiful thing.
Okay. How has Inga Nani, which you released in 2020, been received?
It was received so beautifully. And I think
just
at the time...
What's that about?
So Inga Nani is loosely translated Zulu fairy tale.
Yes.
And for me, it was really just about celebrating black bodies and the different layered experiences from my perspective. The album is written in predominantly Zulu, which is my mother tongue.
Yes.
And it was important for me to tell our stories using my mother tongue, but knowing that the love of music and the beauty of music is that it relates with people, whether you speak the language or not. So it was received so beautifully. What I would hear from music lovers is that they felt quite affirmed by it. And I'm happy to have occupied that space, especially in the time that it came out, when all of the conversations and the social consciousness was really just the soundtrack to our lives, really.
And I certainly hope that you will be singing it at the North Sea Jazz Festival.
Absolutely.
To showcase the beauty of African languages.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be singing songs from Yellow the Novel, and especially songs from Inga Nani. You know, we're here and our story is ours, and why not share that?
Why not share the stories? Why not share the beauty of Africa?
Absolutely.
Lovely chatting to you, Zoe.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and all
Good
the best.
To chat to you. Thank you.
Great stuff. All right, that was multi-award winner and songwriter, jazz artist Zoe Modiga, speaking to us about her bespoke show titled UKUBONGA, which will be staged at the Lyric Theatre next Saturday, the 30th of April, supported by Banda Banda and the Crocodiles.